If you have a high IQ but keep dating people who hurt you, your intelligence isn't the problem. Your childhood is. And the smarter you are, the worse this gets. Psychologists discovered something disturbing. The smarter you are, the better you become at justifying why you stay. You can write a dissertation on quantum physics, but can't leave someone who makes you cry every week. This isn't a coincidence. This is called cognitive rationalization, and it's ruining your love life. See, intelligent people are exceptional at creating logical explanations for emotional decisions. You tell yourself, they had a rough childhood, or they're just stressed from work, or if I love them enough, they'll change. Your brain is doing what it does best, solving problems. But here's what psychology reveals. You're not solving the relationship. You're solving for why your nervous system chose someone emotionally unavailable in the first place. And that answer is buried in your childhood. Your brain developed relationship blueprints before you could talk. Between ages 0 and 7, you absorbed how love works by watching your caregivers. Not what they told you, what they showed you. If love came with conditions, chaos, or emotional unavailability, your brain coded that as normal. This is called attachment programming. And here's the thing, it's implicit memory. You don't remember learning it, which is exactly why you can't logic your way out of it. A toddler, watching their parent shut down emotionally, doesn't think, this is unhealthy. They think, this is what love looks like. Here's the cruel part. Your brain prioritizes familiar over healthy. Neurologically, familiar equals safe, even when familiar is toxic. Your amygdala, your threat detection system, developed during those early years. So when you meet someone emotionally available and consistent, your nervous system screams danger because it's unfamiliar. Your body literally cannot recognize healthy love. But that person who's hot and cold, who withholds affection, then love bombs you, that feels like home. That feels safe. Because somewhere between ages 3 and 6, you learned that love is something you have to chase, earn, or fix. And 30 years later, you're still chasing it. I analyzed a Reddit thread where a PhD candidate in neuroscience described her pattern. 3 long-term relationships, all with men who were emotionally distant. She wrote, I'm smart enough to see the pattern. I can literally explain the neuroscience of why I'm doing this, but I can't seem to stop it. 47 people replied with identical stories. 1 lawyer, 1 software engineer, 1 medical resident who said, I can diagnose complex diseases but can't diagnose why I'm attracted to people who can't love me back. The comments read like a support group for people who aced every test except the one that mattered. This is repetition compulsion, a concept Freud identified over a century ago that modern neuroscience has now validated. Your subconscious tries to recreate childhood scenarios to finally get them right. It's not self-sabotage. It's attempted self-healing. Your brain thinks, if I can make this emotionally unavailable person love me, I'll finally prove I was lovable all along. I'll rewrite the story. But here's what your intelligent brain misses. You're trying to get love from someone who's incapable of giving it, just like you did as a child. You're not healing the wound. You're reopening it, over and over and over. A 2023 study from UCLA tracked 500 high-achieving adults in therapy. Those with anxious attachment styles scored an average of 15 IQ points higher than those with secure attachments. Why? Childhood emotional neglect forces kids to become hyper-analytical as a survival mechanism. You learn to read people, predict moods, and solve emotional problems because your safety depended on it. If you could figure out why mom was upset or when dad would explode, you could control your environment. So you became brilliant at reading rooms, analyzing behavior, and anticipating needs. Those are incredible skills. They probably helped you succeed professionally. But in relationships, they backfire. Because now you're 40 years old, still trying to manage someone else's emotions so you can feel safe. But here's where intelligence becomes a trap. You can intellectually understand toxic behavior while emotionally staying bonded to it. You read the articles, you listen to the podcasts, you know the red flags, you even give your friends perfect advice. He's breadcrumbing you, you deserve better. But when it's your relationship, your trauma brain overrides your smart brain every single time. Because you're not operating from your prefrontal cortex, the logical part. You're operating from your limbic system, the survival part. The part that learned love equals anxiety at age 4. And no amount of intelligence can override survival programming. You can't think your way out of something you felt your way into. A therapist shared a case study. Her client, a successful architect, kept dating men who were projects. One was an aspiring musician who needed financial support. Another was going through a divorce and needed emotional support. When she met a stable, available man, she felt nothing. She said, "I know he's good for me, but where's the spark?" Her therapist asked her to describe her childhood. Her father was an alcoholic. She spent her childhood managing his moods, making sure he was okay. Love meant caretaking. So when she met a man who didn't need fixing, her brain couldn't recognize it as love. The spark she was craving wasn't chemistry. It was the familiar anxiety of trying to save someone. The breakthrough comes when you stop asking, "Why do I attract toxic people?" and start asking, "What did toxic love teach me to tolerate?" Because you're not attracting them, you're accepting them. There's a difference. You're not a magnet for narcissists. You're someone whose nervous system was trained to accept breadcrumbs and call it a feast. Trained to tolerate inconsistency and call it passion. Trained to earn love instead of receive it. And the most intelligent thing you can do is recognize that your picker isn't broken. It's calibrated to childhood normal, which means you can recalibrate it. Step 1. Notice your nervous system response on dates. Does calm feel boring? Does chaos feel exciting? Does consistency feel suffocating? That's your trauma talking, not your truth. One woman in therapy started rating her anxiety levels during dates on a scale of 1 to 10. She realized she only felt chemistry when her anxiety hit 7 out of 10. That's not chemistry, that's familiarity. Real chemistry should feel calm, safe, and curious, not like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So start tracking. When do you feel most attracted? When someone's pulling away. When do you lose interest? When someone's consistent. See the pattern? That's your blueprint running the show. Step 2. Map your pattern in brutal detail. Get a piece of paper. Write down your last 3 to 5 significant partners. For each one, note: how did they handle conflict? Were they emotionally available? How did they show love? How did you feel in the relationship? Anxious, calm, desperate, or secure? If you see a pattern, that's your blueprint trying to resolve itself. Maybe they were all emotionally distant. Maybe they all had addiction issues. Maybe they were all inconsistent communicators. One client realized all her partners had unavailable parents themselves. She wasn't choosing them randomly. She was choosing men who'd also learned that love means distance. Awareness breaks 50% of the cycle. You can't change what you can't see. Step 3. Practice discomfort. When you meet someone secure and available, your body might scream, boring, no spark, or friend zone. Psychologist Alexandra Solomon calls this the secure attachment challenge. You have to rewire your nervous system to recognize that boring might actually be safe. And safe might be what love is supposed to feel like. This means you'll need to date people who feel wrong at first. Not red flag wrong, just unfamiliar wrong. The person who texts back consistently? Stay. The person who doesn't play games? Stay. The person who's emotionally available? Stay, even when your nervous system is begging you to run. Tell yourself, this feels boring because it's healthy, and I'm allowed to learn what healthy feels like. Step 4. Practice radical self-compassion. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not too smart for your own good. You're someone who adapted brilliantly to a difficult childhood. Your hypervigilance kept you safe. Your people-pleasing got you love when love was conditional. Your ability to rationalize protected you from unbearable pain. Those skills worked then. They don't work now. But that doesn't mean you're defective. It means you're ready to upgrade your strategies. You survived childhood. Now you get to heal from it. And that takes a different kind of intelligence, emotional intelligence, the willingness to feel what you've been thinking your way around for decades. Your intelligence isn't the problem. It's been protecting a wounded part of you that's still trying to earn love it should have received unconditionally. The smartest thing you can do? Stop trying to solve people. Stop trying to earn love. Stop trying to prove you're worthy. And start solving why you think you have to. Because you were always worthy. You just needed caregivers who could see it. Now it's time for you to see it too. If this described your pattern, you're not alone. Comment familiar if you've stayed in relationships that felt like home, but hurt like hell. Subscribe for more psychology that makes sense of your patterns. And watch this next video where I break down the 4 attachment styles and which one keeps you trapped in toxic cycles.